Hi there guys, hope you're all well. Welcome back to a new video. This video right here, I'm going to be breaking down how I made $2,000 on my FTMO account trading the Euro US dollar pair. Now, if you are watching this, I'm not someone who trades ICT. I don't trade price action and I don't trade liquidity, fair value gaps and things like that. I know every single person on TikTok, YouTube, everywhere at the minute trades that way because it's become popular, but I've never been one to trade that way. So maybe you're watching this and you think, maybe I'll be interested in obviously seeing a different way of trading the market. That's what I'm going to break down in this video. So any questions, please leave them in the comments and let's get on to the charts. So people, just for transparency, this is me sending the trade idea into the group at 10 a.m. So I did say that I had an area of interest on the dollar. Obviously for me, I will not enter a trade on a currency pair unless the dollar index is at a level. Makes my life very easy. I don't have to overthink. All I have to do is mark my zones, go about my day, and when my alert goes off, I'm looking to enter a trade, and it's as simple as that. So at 10 a.m. in the morning, on the 15th of August, I decided that it was time for me to analyze these areas and I sent them into the group. So, what then happened? This is the area that was just shown on them screenshots there. And all it was is that, there was the most recent swing within the market. We had a break retest of the round number and we also had the Fibonacci level here. So, for me, that validated the trade idea. What we then saw is that at 12 p.m. in the afternoon, price then came up into the area and obviously came into my zone of interest. That enough for me was obviously a confluence enough for me to get in. Obviously, there was a large spike with news. So once price hits this area, I can then go onto my currency pair like so, and then start analyzing what I'm looking at. So looking at the price, you can see that I did say I was going to enter at 1.0955. So if we then come onto the charts, we can see that that price was actually, if we have a look, around this level here. Now, why was this my zone of interest? Well, to start with, we had the most recent push within the market, which started from here, which to me obviously validated that area right there. What do we also notice? We notice that the 61 Fibonacci lines up with the break and retest of these key levels here. What do we also notice on the right hand side? If we look where this line is there, if we look to the right, you can see there's a round number of 1.0950. So all these confluences came up to look like this. Now, why did I enter slightly early at this point here? Because one, if prices come into my area and DXY is already at a zone of interest, then I don't want to miss the move. I had a 20 pip stop loss on the trade, which just nicely covered my area of confluence. And then the trade obviously played out. Now, initially, as always, if we look at the Telegram channel, once price triggered, I said I was moving my stop loss at break even at 10 pips, mainly just due to the fact that obviously it happened after news. I didn't want to, risk anything. And then TP1 was hit at 20 pips. So my first TP was at 1-to-1 because if we look, I personally like to leave runners. I take what I can from the market and then I let my runners do the rest, which is what you saw in this example here. And then basically following that, it's just a case of rinse and repeat and letting the runner do its work. Now, you will notice a lot of people out there who target, 1-to-4s, 1-to-5s, their win rate will be absolutely terrible. Now, if the stats work in your favor, that's great. But in all honesty, to me, that is more of a gamble than having a strategy with a high win rate. For me, having a high win rate is more important than having a crazy risk to reward. My risk to reward is still positive. So as long as my win rate is good as well, then obviously I'm looking to make money within the market. So the first, obviously, TP was there. And then I did actually end up taking a second partial at 125 pips. And you've seen the screenshot, obviously, on the screen, which then allowed me to take a further partial of about $1,200. So at 1-to-1, I took $800 from the trade. And then obviously at the second area, which is obviously at the top, if we play this out, like so, you can see that I did actually end up taking more from the position and closing the whole position out for $2,000. Now, if we look what actually ended up happening with the trade, you can see that obviously price did just continue going and obviously would have returned more profits. But if you are looking at the market itself, it's just worth sometimes taking what you can from the trades. And obviously, if you were to take any losses and things like that, you can offset them with running profits. So it's mainly just about being risk managed. Ideally, I could have trailed my stop loss to something like that once price created new structure and got an extra 20 pips out of it. But obviously, that was not in my interests. But this is basically from start to finish my thought process when it came to taking this position. So I'm hopeful that you have obviously learned something. As mentioned, this was obviously called out in my group. So if you are someone who is looking for, a new strategy, a new group, a new community, by all means, click the link in the description and I'll be more than happy to welcome you into the group. So any questions, please leave them below and I will see you